3 weeks ago, she sat at brunch with my mother and spent 30 minutes describing our future children. What they'd look like, who'd get her stubbornness, who'd get my patience. I sat there grinning like an idiot, soaking in every word. 14 days ago, she packed a bag and walked out of the life we spent 9 years building. No warning, no fight. Just a woman who, it turns out, had been lying to me for years, and I never saw a single crack in the foundation. This is the story of how it happened, and how a house that used to be full of 2 people, a mortgage, and a future is now just me, and a dog who doesn't understand why she isn't coming home. We grew up together, really. 9 years side by side. 5 of them spent with me working so she could finish university, and 1 where she returned the favor while I upskilled. We bought a home. We got a dog we both adored. We got married 2.5 years ago, and everyone who knew us said the same thing. You 2 are the ones who are actually going to make it. We talked about kids constantly. Not in a vague someday way, in the way people talk when they've already decided. That's going to be us one day, she'd say, pointing at some old couple holding hands in the street. You're going to be such a good dad, she told me, watching some stranger's baby video on my phone. She was the one who brought up baby names at brunch with my mother, unprompted, glowing. I believed every word of it. I had no reason not to. A month before everything fell apart, she sat me down and said she wanted to explore her sexuality. I was curious, open, until she said the words, open relationship. My stomach dropped before my brain even caught up. Something primal in me knew this wasn't really hypothetical. I told her no, firmly. She backed off immediately, told me I was her one and only, that it was just a thought experiment, nothing more. I wanted to believe her, so I did. But the dread didn't leave. It just went quiet, curling up somewhere in my chest and waiting. I spent weeks planning her birthday the way I always did. Thoughtful gifts, more than I could probably afford, because that's what we did for each other. That's who we were. A week before her birthday, she brought up the open relationship again. My anxiety, which had only just settled, came roaring back. That night she went cold, distant in a way I hadn't seen from her before. I asked her to talk to me, to tell me what was going on in her head. She said she didn't want to ruin her own birthday with a heavy conversation. We'd talk after. I let it go. I told myself I was overthinking it. I was wrong. Her birthday party was at our house. She got drunk. And for the first time in 9 years, I watched her become someone I didn't recognize. Laughing too long with her male friends, letting their hands linger, lighting up for everyone except me. When I leaned in to kiss her, she turned her face away like I was an inconvenience. I stood in my own home, surrounded by people celebrating her, and felt like a stranger. The dread I'd been carrying for weeks stopped whispering and started screaming. The next morning, she sat me down and told me the passion was gone, that we were done. I don't remember much of what I said back, just the panic attack, the sobbing, the feeling of the floor disappearing beneath me. She left to spend the day with her parents. I called my mother, barely able to get the words out. My mother was as blindsided as I was. She adored my wife. That evening, my wife came home only to say she was leaving for her parents' house for a week. To think, she said. She showed almost no emotion through any of it. It was the coldness that scared me more than anything else. I spent that week barely eating, sleeping on the couch with our dog pressed against me like she somehow understood. My mother checked in constantly. I kept replaying 9 years of memories, searching for the moment I must have missed, the one that would explain how we got here. I never found it. When she came back, she told me she felt like a horrible person, a monster, in her words, for letting it go on this long. She said she wasn't in love with me anymore, maybe hadn't been for a long time. She genuinely didn't know. She'd been forcing the relationship to work. For years, maybe. She wanted to separate immediately. No counseling, no attempt. She'd already decided, somewhere I was never invited to. I kept coming back to the brunch conversation. The baby names. The "that's going to be us" comments. The future house Pinterest talk. All of it, apparently, sitting on top of a woman who had already quietly checked out. I still don't understand how both things can be true. Maybe they can't. Maybe I just wasn't allowed to know which one was real. She moved back to her parents. The separation started immediately, exactly the way she wanted it. Now it's just me and the dog in a house built for 2 people and, we thought, a family that never got the chance to exist. I've been cheated on before, in relationships long before her, but nothing prepared me for being lied to for years by the one person I trusted without question. I just turned 30. 9 years, gone. And I'm left wondering how much of it was ever real. I don't have an ending for this yet. I'm not looking for one tonight. Some nights the house is just quiet, and the dog rests her head on my lap, and that's the only thing keeping me tethered to anything at all. If you've lived through something like this, you already know there's no clean lesson at the end of it. Just the slow, ugly work of learning to trust the ground under your feet again.
If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for early notification for the new video. And also tell us in the comments which part you like the most. Also, share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching the video.